Hello watchers, and welcome to part 2 of a 6-part series. So in this video I received a gift from Karen Dash, which is very exciting. I've never been sent anything by a major company like this ever. So they've basically said, we've watched some of your videos and thought you would like to try these products out. So in this video we're going to unbox those and hopefully create a nice sort of Halloween-ish seasonal fall illustration of some kind with them. So let's get on with that. But before we do that, let's open 2 more days. So we did 3 days yesterday, so we'll do 2 today. And let's get one of these brewing as well while we unbox things. So let's do day 4. Ooh, day 4 is a big box. A big flap, I should say. Okay. Ooh. Oh. There's nothing in there. What happened? Oh, maybe it's fallen out somewhere. Like, has it got to the top? Oh, I don't know what happened there. Let's open door 5, which is this one. Wait. So in door 5 we have got 2 tea bags. I can hear something like loose, so it must be something somewhere. And this is, oh my god, look, that is little pumpkins. It's upside down. Wait. Little pumpkins in this tea. So I'm guessing this is I think it's their pumpkin spice blend, which I was very excited to try out. It just has it on the, doesn't have it on the label there. So we've got 2 tea bags of this. And it's very black and orange, but there's little pumpkins in there. That's so cool. I like that. So we'll brew one of those. Number 4's got to be in there somewhere, but I'm just like, I kind of don't want to. No, it's just an empty box at the back. I don't want to pull it apart, so we'll probably get number 4 in another video because I don't want to open all the other doors yet. So we'll see what that's about in a little while, but let's brew this and give that a tasting while we unbox the goodies. Cheers. I had no idea this was coming, and I got really giddy at my post box when I realised that the sender is Karen Dash. Now, I've not ordered anything from Karen Dash. I thought it was a friend of mine that did order it me, but when I questioned them, they're like, no, I've not sent you anything. How rich do you think I am buying you Karen Dash? But yeah, I've already opened the box, so I know that there's Karen Dash items inside it, but they're then also gift boxed as well, so I don't know what's inside the gift boxes. So let's just get the bits out. Wait. So that's exactly how it came. In these gift boxes. But the thing that I read was that's basically like a returns form for whatever reason. I don't know why Karen Dash thinks I want to return anything. But this is what made me realise it wasn't my friend that bought me anything. Because when you pull this ribbon out, you get this message, which is, "We have watched some of your videos and thought you might like these products to try out CD." So Karen Dash themselves have sent me a couple of goodies that I'm just in shock by, because I thought it was only like big massive YouTube channels that got like free stuff, or you know, gifts from companies or anything like that, you know, people like Chloe Rose Art and stuff like that, not just little old me, you know. So I'm a little bit sort of shocked and in awe. You know, when I did contact Karen Dash to ask them about this, they was just like, you know, it's just a gift, please accept it as a gift. We don't want you to do a video or anything like that on it, but I am gonna do, because I'm just in shock. And plus, I'm sure you guys want to know what Karen Dash products are in here, just as much as me. So yeah. So thank you very much, Karen Dash. And yeah, let's see what's in the boxes. Okay. So first one, this envelope one. Ooh. Okay, so some 10 Neocolor 2 Aquarelle crayons. I think I've seen these on a few YouTube videos, but I thought they were just like Crayola sort of, you know, crayons that you got when you were younger, but they say they're Aquarelle, so hang on, it says that they're waxy as well. Let's see. There's a tin. Oh, why is the tin the opposite way? I always expect it to open that way like a book, but no, it's the opposite way. Okay, some nice colours, some nice warm tones. But honestly, these just feel like the wax crayons you got as a kid. Oh, of some sort. I'm guessing that's the online class that they're on about. But yeah, these look super nice. I like the colour range. I would never in a million years pick these colours myself, I don't think. I always, as you know, go for green. If you watched any of my other videos, you know I always go for greens. But this is just such a nice little cute tin. So we'll have a play with those in a moment. And then we've got, oh, another red tin. Red tins galore. So bicolor 12 Perismo water solubles and a pencil plus a brush. So bicolor. Oh, so the pencils are 2 different colours, which is great because it means you get double the colours with not so much space, not using up so much space. So it does make a handy to go palette, I would imagine. But I love the colour of this sleeve. This is a nice green, deep green. Oh, it says it's limited edition as well. Do they not do by colours normally? Like, is this something special exclusive for this tin? I don't know. We shall find out. Nice red tin. Ooh. First up, we've got a silver and a gold. I was not expecting that. But these are very skinny pencils compared to their usual. I mean, I have a pastel pencil here, and it's really thick and weighty compared to these. So I don't know what the difference is. We've also got a number 5 Karen Dash brush with a very strange tip. Things. These are, I've never used any of these items before, so I think Karen Dash really have watched my videos and realised she's not used those products. Let's give her a go with those. So I want some paper and some water and some brushes. So I'm not too sure what works best with these. I don't want to do any research. I just want to delve in, first impressions, first play. So I've got a 100% cotton water paper cold pressed here. Then I've also got a Hammer Mule hot pressed, but this is cellulose. So we'll see which paper they work best on. I want to try these crayons first. I want to try these. So I'm just going to give them all a swatch out and then blend them out with some water. Okay. So let's give these a whirl. Let's start with the light ones first. So I'm going to do it on both pieces of papers just to see if it makes it. Oh, wow. These are so buttery. I was going to press like really hard like you do with crayons, but no, that's the first different. Oh, wow. You don't have to press hard at all, especially on the hot press. So that was, do they have a colour? Yes, pink. See how this feels. Oh, wow. I mean, they melt quite well, like on top of where you've put the colour, but you can't spread the colour too much. Oh, this brush is really bad. Okay, I'm going to use a different brush. Let's just try a nice flat brush. Not too big, not too small. I'm just going to use a Princeton Velvet Touch flat shader. But yeah, they melt really nicely on top of where you've put the colour, but you can't pull out the colour too much. Whereas like if you use watercolour pencils and things, you can really, well, I'll probably show you in a minute with those ones. But these colours are really nice though. Really nice. I mean, you can pull out the colour a little bit, but it's not as bold. But again, that's on the cellulose hot press paper. It might be different on a cold press cotton. Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow, what a difference the paper makes. Oh my word, I cannot believe how much difference the paper makes. That's insane. I'm just gonna do all the other colours as well on both, even though I know they probably work better on hair. But I just want to make sure and not convince myself that it's, I don't know, something. But I mean, they draw on the hot press really smoothly, whereas on the cold press, obviously you've got a lot more white bits. But I mean, you're supposed to be able to use these dry as well. Yeah, water soluble wax pastel. So you don't have to wet them. So if you're not going to wet them, I would definitely use them on the hot press paper. But if you do want to wet them, definitely cold press. Cotton, not cellulose as well. It's a really interesting colour palette as well. It's very similar. Very similar. But as I've said, all you professional neo colour pastel people, don't come for me. This is my first impressions of just literally opening them up and having a go. So bear that in mind, please, when you're leaving comments. They are the wax Neo colours. Let's just pop them back in the tin. Then I'm going to try the pencils. I'm just thinking with these pencils, because I have some museum aquarelle, so let me just grab a couple of those as well, and let's see if we can do like a little comparison, because I'm a little bit confused as to why they have different types of water soluble pencils. So I'll just grab a couple of them. Okay, so I have these ones. So just get the lid off. If I've got pencils missing out of my sets like these two, it usually means they're in a pot somewhere for a particular project I'm working on. So don't worry about that too much. The black and the white. Although obviously we're not going to see the white as much. But I mean, coming out of the pencil, they're really nice and smooth. Just how I would expect them to be. Alright, so let's give those colours a little bit of a water. I mean, they're melting much better than what they would do on the cellulose, which is nice. And you can spread them as well a bit. Is it just my imagination, or are they more vibrant on the cotton as well? That might be my imagination, but no, I'm pretty sure. Even the yellow looks, it's probably because the pigment sits on top of the paper rather than soaks in, maybe. Maybe I'm reading that way wrong. Let's see how they dry. But let's see if I can get... Let's try this orange against that orange. So this is the Museum Aquarelle. Now, is this my imagination or not? I'd say they're just as smooth as one another going on the page dry. Clearly it's a much deeper orange, but just for comparison's sake. I'd actually say that the Museum Aquarelle melt a little bit better. I can't see any of where the pencil is, whereas on there I can just see it a little bit. And I think they spread a little bit more as well. Now the other thing that I'm guessing would be is the Museum Aquarelle are artist quality, so obviously I think the light fastness would be more. I don't know, I really like this little set of just having 24 colours in 12 pencils. Because for me, just sliding that in my bag and having a bunch of colours that I can quickly access is quite useful to me, I think. Oh no, I didn't use red on that side. But I love how we've got the Christmas colours in one pencil, red and green. The right shades as well. Yeah, these pencils really do not like this hot pressed cellulose. Silver sort of disappears. Gold just sort of moves around. Do you know what it feels with this cellulose paper? It actually feels like I'm trying to paint on plastic. So it's not, it's just sort of lifting off and staying on my brush rather than actually going into the paper. Which, I know it's cellulose, but I don't think it should be like that. I think I want to try these on some different paper. But yeah, some of these colours are just completely and utterly disappearing on the cellulose paper. Interesting. But yeah, I mean, even the vibrancy stays on the cotton paper. I can't believe the difference that paper makes. It's quite incredible. I'm glad I've done this on both, because I was just going to use the cellulose one. And if I'd just used the cellulose paper, I would have hated these products. So I'm glad that I used cotton paper as well, to really show you that there is a massive difference when you're choosing your paper. I never realised just how much there was until now. So this has taught me a very good lesson. If you hate a product, try it on some different media, surface media. Because you never know, it might work better on something else. But yeah, they're melting really nicely. I'm just going to save the metallics to last. On the cotton one. And the paper's not piling up like it was on here. But none of the colours have disappeared on this paper like it did with the cellulose. So if you can see here on the cellulose, that green's pretty much gone, the silver's pretty much gone, but on the cotton they're still there. I kind of want to try some different hot press paper. Right, I've got the creme de la creme of watercolour paper, which is Archer's watercolour, 100% pure cotton, and it is the hot press version. So let's see if it is hot pressed or if it's because it's cellulose. So let me just pop these out of the way. So we had the silver one, we'll do that one first. Put quite a bit on there. Then we'll have the blue, greeny blue that I like, and then that sort of bluish colour that was disappearing. So let's try it. Well, they're melting quite nicely. And they're allowing me to move them a little bit, so it must be simply the fact they just don't like cellulose paper, they like to have cotton paper. Yeah, it is literally just... So for these pencils, if anybody's got any, there's Prismo pencils. Don't use cellulose paper, use hot pressed cotton, 100% cotton is what I'm trying to say. But let's just test. Do I have any similar colours? Let's do the red. So this is the Museum Aquarelle red on the hot pressed 100% cotton. And then is that red? Nope, that's a different red. So yeah, that's a bit better. Yeah, I definitely noticed the difference between the Museum Aquarelle and the Prismo. But I mean, they are melting just as well as one another. And that's on the same type of paper. So, I don't know. I would imagine that, as I've said, they're more light fast, but these, I really like them, but we have got to use them. I've got to remember, I'll leave a little note in the tin actually, only use 100% cotton paper with them. But I really like these because there's 24 of them, 24 colours, sorry, and they fit nicely in this tin. So this is very much an on-the-go palette for me, because this would easily just slide in my bag. So I'm really liking that. My only gripe would be I would want to use one of these pen watercolour brushes in there. And I think it's going to then make the tin too bulky, I think. There's not enough room for it. Is that? No, it's too bulky. So I'll just have to find a different brush to go with that one. And I've got water in my tin. So yeah, thank you very much, Karen Dash, for these products. I've enjoyed trying them out. Okay, so Silly Me has had a further play with these Karen Dash Neo 2 Aquarelle crayons, only I wasn't recording. So Silly Me. So I've had a little bit of rejig around on the desk. I also realised I had this from a while ago. This is the official Karen Dash palette, and part of it has got like a textured side, and then the other side's like super glossy and super shiny. And I believe this is actually designed for these. So as you're scribbling onto it, it actually takes the pigment off for you, and then you can just use it as watercolor and mix it with water that way. So I've got that as well to try out. Now the play that I did do that was not on the screen was in my Etcher cold press watercolor sketchbook, and all I've done is swatch them out again, but this time I've had a dry swatch up there and then a wet swatch underneath. Then I've tried mixing them all as well to see what colours we can get, and we can actually get a green, which is interesting. Then I've done a dry gradient here, so literally no water on this. I've just literally meshed the crayons together, and I really do like the effect it gives. Then this is palette mixing as well, but I washed it off the palette, which is basically, it just comes straight as it would do if you'd wet it, or if you just use normal paints, watercolor paints. It gives the same effect. Then we've done wet on dry, so I've done some like dry and then gone over a little bit wet. Then I've done some shading here as well with light to dark. That was directly just using the pastels. And then again the same on here as well. Then just some line work, working with the line weights. Then this is dry gradient with a water wash with a flat brush to keep the lines, because I really like the lines on this. So this sort of messes up the dry gradient, but it still gives you a nice flat colour, but it still gives me those lines that I quite like. So I think I'm going to use that in my illustration. So yeah, that's the play I did, and completely didn't realise I was recording. And I keep looking at my cameras now, checking, making sure the little red button is flashing at me now. So I'm getting a bit paranoid. So we'll just pop that to the side so I can refer back to it. The paper that I'm using, basically, it's the Archer's cold press, but it's the rough one. So you've really got a scratchy texture on there. And then I've done a quick Google sketch on Procreate. I always like to sort of quickly sketch in Procreate these days because it just helps with composition and perspective and all that stuff. Just of Whitby Abbey and some bats, and then run it through my printer, inkjet printer, through the paper feed at the back, so therefore it can take thick paper. I'm going to try and create like a little border as well with washi tape. I did this once before on another piece and I really liked it. So we're going to see how it works with the rough surface, because I've never used a rough surface before. Now I don't want to stick it to the table because I like to be able to move my paper around. Right, so the first thing I'm going to want to do is the sky. And what are we going to use for the sky? I think I'm going to use the Sahara yellow as like the bottom, because we're going to do like a sunset. So I want my lightest colour at the bottom where the sky is going to touch the earth, hopefully. So I'm just going to put on a whole bunch of colour. See, the reason why I chose the rough paper was because I wanted the roughness for the stones of the abbey. You know, basically I wanted the paper to work for me rather than the other way around. But I want to try and get like a really smooth sky, which I know is going to be difficult on rough paper. But I'm thinking it'll take a few layers like it did in the sketchbook. But hopefully it will be worth it. So I'm going to take my flat brush Princeton Velvet Touch wash 3/4 one, because it's the biggest one I've got. Give it a good soak in the water and just fill in the colour. Again, not being too neat, but at the same time I just want to make sure I get all this pigment spread out. Now, while I wait for the sky to dry, I'm actually going to go in on the building with this golden ochre, and I just want to do a very light wash on all of these stoneworks. Now for the bottom, do I want to do a green sort of underlay? Let's try. So to get this green that I've made, it's with the Chinese green. And then with the umber, I think. Not too much, just a little. And then I'm just gonna add some water and give it a good mix. Yeah. Yeah, and that's all I wanted. So there we go, we've got rid of all of the white. Actually kind of happy with the sky. But I say that now, just give me a sec. bit more. That bit that was there. Yeah, I think I'm actually very happy with this guy. I mean, I was thinking about working in the lines, but having said that, I think if I do that with the details that I'm going to go in with on the stone, it might take away from that. So let's not do that. So the first thing is to re-establish some of the details. Now I'm actually drawing that. I've just realised I'm not using any reference photos. I'm just drawing this from memory, so it might not end up looking like Whitby Abbey at this point. But yeah. I've just realised that I was looking around my desk like, hang on. So we'll see. In fact, yeah, let's try and use it without any reference photos and see how we get on. So what I'm going to try and do is get some more detail, because you can't go too far detail. I mean, the smallest detail I was going in was the red one, but I don't think that's any good. So I'm going to use some of these bi-colours, but these are very bright colours, so I want to try and stay in the same colour palette. So yeah, I think using the brown and the ochre on that, and then the grey, and then maybe the black, but the black might be too much. I think I prefer to try and use the umber. I mean, the other way to get details, I've just realised, is with putting it on the palette and then wetting it and then using a tiny brush and getting details that way. But I just want to see how these pencils work over the top. So I just wanted to find some shapes a bit better than what I actually already have. And re-establish some lines that have gotten a little bit lost. Okay, so it's completely dry now. I've just added a few extra details with the pencils. I'm just going to go over a couple of bits that I want to darken. Using the umber. So I'm gonna leave the detail of the abbey as it is, and then just work on the foreground and add some, hopefully lots of textures on here. Now, while I wait for the foreground to dry a little bit, because the more I'm adding, the more colours I'm mixing, and I want to really get some brighter strokes on the top, I'm going to put some raw umber on the palette, quite a bit, because I want it quite dark, and we're going to get my tiny brush, the 0 round, get it a bit wet. paint in some of our bats. Okay, so that's about as far as I want to take this. I would have liked to have done more detail at the front and made these rocks slash burial mounds a little bit more detailed, but I don't want to go in with any other material than what I got in the gift from Karen Dash. Otherwise I would have gone in with some lighter gouache or something like that, but yeah, I don't want to do that. So bearing in mind when you are using these neo colours that you need to treat them like watercolour. You can't go dark to light, you need to go light to dark. So either mask off areas or just keep bits that are going to be white or light until you're ready to do them. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with my little bats. And the detail on the abbey, considering I've done it from memory, not from a photograph. Next time I need to have like a photograph or something, a reference photo to hand. But yeah, this to me is shall we call this place something like The Return of Dracula, i.e. the last sunset of the summer. Well, that could be a title as well. The last sunset of summer, and then the bats are returning to the abbey, i.e. Dracula's on his way back for all the spooky dark nights in October. So yeah, I'm going to call it the last sunset of summer, I think. So now my favourite thing to do with any painting that I do is peel pawn. Let's reveal these white edges, shall we? Even though actually I do quite like the stripe. In fact, let's leave the stripe alone for now and do the leaves one first. Hopefully it's not going to tear the page, but no, it seems to have gone off quite nicely. Isn't that just beautiful? I kind of do really like this striped effect, so I'm just gonna leave it there for a second so I can take a photograph of it like that. But I kind of really do want to see what the white's gonna look like around the edge as well, so let's do some more peeling. But that is just satisfying. I don't care what anyone says, that is the best part of painting. And yes, I do prefer it with a white border rather than the black stripes now that I see it. So yeah, that's it for this painting and this video. Let me know what you guys think of the neo colours. Have you guys used them before, or are you curious to try them? Or, you know, if you've got any tips or tricks for me, I'm happy to learn as well. Hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. So this wraps up part 2 of A6 series Halloween special. Part 3 will be a model base for the Disney Halloween video, for the Disney Halloween village that everybody's been requesting. So that is on its way. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.